Hello, everybody out there in, should we say YouTube land or should we just say tube country? Huh? Constituents, subscribers, and friends. It's me. Sometimes you call me the Earthling. How you doing? How you doing? I like that because I am just an Earthling, as are the rest of you. Now, and I do a lot of videos with a lot of passion. A lot of anger sometimes because some of the things I hear from people, I don't know. I was never really, I never had any guidance or anything. Everything I know, I've basically learned from watching others or making mistakes myself or not making the mistake and finding out that I did the right thing. Now, so I just wanted to give, I haven't been on in a while, haven't made a video in a long time. Although I've been in a real heated discussion with this one youngster who calls himself the War Theme Revolution, which is kind of weird for a Christian. I don't know, he might even deny he's a Christian. Who knows? So the guy's a real nut. He comes on, his first video that I see about it is that a woman's body is not her business, or that a fetus isn't the part of a woman's body, and that she has no rights to it or something. Now he's 20 years old, has no sisters, because I've said that to him and he has yet to deny it or say, yeah, I do. Or, how many women he's talked to, I don't know. He keeps bashing feminists as if there's some kind of evil entity running around trying to ruin his life. And he's got this proposition that he seems to think. See, okay, this the so-called abortion debate is, to me, it's not really even about abortion. To me, it's a matter of, does a woman have the right to keep medical procedures to herself or not? Is there an actual such thing as doctor-patient confidentiality, where the doctor's not allowed to say anything about you or your treatment? What I want to know is, so a woman goes to her gynecologist, OBGYN, obstetrician gynecologist, and says, I think I need to get an abortion, but I'd like to get to, some counseling, talk to somebody about it, because I don't think I want to have this baby for whatever reason. It's her business right now because that's the law. How would anyone else know that she's going to get this procedure done? For them to come and protest, for it to make it to court, for anything, for some prosecutor to say, no, she can't do that. Here's a junction against you to do that. How does that happen? Can anyone explain that to me? Because Mr. Little War Theme Revolution Boy seems to think he has the right to tell women what procedure they can get. Seems to think it's his business to know every single thing that happens to a woman, between a woman and her doctor. He may deny this, but that's what his argument is. He's trying to convince people scientifically with these goofy suppositions he calls evidential videos that the fetus is not part of the woman's body. I guess he means like right away at conception. Like right now, it's no longer part of her body, even though she's feeding the shit out of it. And without that umbilical, it would die. I don't know why he doesn't take that into account, but maybe it's because he goes some crazy crap like the father's DNA isn't in it, so it can't be human. There's some crap like that. They'll think of something. I'm sure they will. But it will be scientifically unsound and meatless. I've looked at it as him, Warboy, making suppositions and assumptions. All it is. Nobody agrees with it except for these other Christians. I know they call themselves pro-lifers, but I can't give them that credit because they're not really pro-life. You know, they're pro keeping women tucked under Adam's rib is what they are. You know, and, which is a funny thing. The worst part about it is these sane people will bitch and moan and cry about someone like Westboro Baptist Church, who's so radical that they actually call for the murder and then, you know, killing of soldiers and the president and all kinds of stuff and get away with it with big signs in public. Yeah, if I went and did that, I'd be thrown in jail for making threats. Go figure. Why? You really ask? You really need to know? Jeez, man. There's just no such thing, honestly, of separation of church and state. It's not happening. They don't care. They're not doing it. They are, yeah. And they make this big to-do even about choosing a new house chaplain. Excuse, excuse, excuse me? I got hiccups. I'm sorry, but I have to get rid of them right in the middle of this great report. But I'm going to show you how to do it. You hold your breath, and then you try to push it out from the diaphragm like you do. You breathe. The diaphragm is what synchronizes your lungs to go in and out and out, up and down, and pumps them, right? It's a little flat muscle. It goes like this. Hiccup is when they're out of sync. So if you push 10 seconds upside down to make it go, gravity helps. Come back up, breathe out your nose. Then take a deep breath out your mouth. Your hiccups are gone because you've resynchronized. Okay, now let's get back to, I hope I remember my point. Right, how everybody cried about how this is a Christian nation, and we're saying no, it isn't, no, it isn't. And unfortunately, the government doesn't want to fight that. They want to be a Christian nation. They want us to be a, I guess, what do you call it? Parliamentary theocracy. I don't know. All I know is, the First Amendment does state Congress shall make no law establishing the rights to any religion or the free exercise thereof. Exercise thereof does not mean build your church any way you want. Doesn't mean push your religion on everybody else. Free exercise thereof doesn't mean that you get to bring your crazy blood sacrifice prayers into a school full of children who might not necessarily believe that and look at it as a threat. Practicing your religion doesn't give you the right to drag others' children in front of some nut to tell them if they don't believe the way they believe, they're going to burn and torture them forever in hell and all kinds of other crap that a 5 or 6, 7-year-old can't seem to get their head around and may very well be damaging. There's so many things, terrible things that religion's done, Christianity especially, because they hide so well in society. They look at the Pope, they look at these priests as these next to God, godly people and blah, 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 and look what they've done. Just look at history, and yet you Catholics, you'll still drag your kids in there to be raped and molested. I don't get it. And I don't have to get it. Islam's no worse. You guys, you're not making Islam look worse. Why do you think some people might want to move to it? Because of the way you're treating people. You got a freaking Pope that's a Nazi wearing dresses and gold and still cries and moans about the poor people. Go figure. They replace E pluribus unum with in God we trust on our coins on our dollars and such. It's getting bad. They allow a student to sue a teacher for telling him that creationism is nonsense. Which it is. It is nonsense. And the little crybaby had to go get a lawyer. School's backing the teacher because they know you cannot teach creationism no matter how intelligent you try to make it sound. Because it doesn't. Especially when you say intelligent design. That's a good one. That's one of my favorites. I love you guys for that one. Okay? Because we all scream and cry. Well, we love it. And like I said, there's so many things out here that you know, we've got news people not celebrating the fact that the First Amendment's being stepped all over by paying a monotheistic preacher to come up and preach his brand of religion to our House of Representatives every day since its opening. Not an imam, not a rabbi, not a Lutheran, no, Catholic or Protestant. That's it, period. Signal God. What the hell is wrong with that picture? And they've allowed it to go on and go up and up. And in 1957, they let "under God" be put into our pledge. You think I want to pledge my life to a superhero? Should have heard me when I went in the service. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Period. Just like Porky Pig. That's right, he did. And the priests, even after going through all this so-called divinity school and getting so close to the Lord and feeling so much, his power, they just can't help themselves. They're just nasty, nasty creatures. And their excuse is, the Pope won't let us have sex the regular way. The fuck? Come on. Go sign yourself in, dudes. Tell the truth. Half of you don't even believe in God anymore because you know. Then we've got the fun part of my report. This is about, some call UFOs, but what I call our neighbors. In 1947, Roswell, this report came out. We found a flying disc crash landed in a New Mexico farmer's field, blah, blah, blah. And was that conspiracy theorists that reported that? Was that some guy, some reporter that found it and looked at it? Was it the rancher going along and saying, I think I'll write me a story about this? No. The United States Army Air Corps reported it. They reported finding a flying saucer, literally, from another world. And they reported that there were bodies. 3 days later, they changed their tune. And the man who first went to investigate, their intelligence officer, says, excuse me? He'd already showed pieces to his son. So now we have another real good witness. Besides which, if a man would just look at history, if you look at the frescoes, you watch and listen. For instance, the Sumerians, they speak literally of the visitors, and they call them by their name, Anunnaki, those who from the stars come. And they spoke about them literally as if they went from here and there in their machines that flew. So no mistake. We'll see you later. That's my report. It's the 16th or something of May 2011. Wow. Good afternoon.